Greetings and welcome to each and every one of you. My name is Dr. Dana Austin, and I am hailing from Atlanta, Georgia, bringing you the author series every third Thursday of the month. And we come to you with individual authors, guest panels of authors, alternating each month, and bringing you tips, marketing tools, and strategies on how to move forward with your writing. And today is going to be a little bit more interesting because we'll have some actual hands on. So if you are on your laptop, just you'll want to make sure that you can access Chat GPT. We're going to do something with that today. So welcome those of you who are hailing from Boise, Idaho, Chicago, Illinois, Atlanta, Georgia, San Juan, Ponce, Puerto Rico, and many other places. So we want to welcome you, and I'm going to go ahead and share our slides. And if you have comments or questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll have opportunities where we can open the mic. All right. So here we are, our Global Chamber Author Series. What do? We come to engage authors. You might very well be an author or being an aspiring author or looking to write a new book with a fresh perspective. This is the space in which to do that. And you show up as an expertise in your field. And that's why we're excited to be able to continue what was started well over 4 years ago by Gloria Chamber, one of our longest serving members for Global Chamber of Commerce. So we are a vibrant community of writers worldwide where we connect, we share diverse experiences, we inspire through books, we inspire through workshops, we inspire through collaborative projects and leadership initiatives. Who am I? I am Dr. Dana Austin. I am Global Chamber Authors Director. I'm on the advisory board for Global Chamber, and I am a healthcare professional, a registered nurse, and a clinical researcher. I love the art of tea. So one of my first solo books I published was on tea, and it made me a best-selling author, an award-winning author, which, it was exciting because it's something that I love, right? And it also was something that I turned into a business. I am the CEO and founder of the nonprofit Transformational Writers Academy and Conference, and we host a conference annually. And I'm always elated to be able to bring and add value, not just from the incredible members, but we even have guests that are non-members that are potential members. So if you're interested in being featured as one of the authors for our Global Chamber series, reach out to me or Doug or Cesar or Mila, let us know. This particular book on the right is one that I wrote in our 90-day series when coaching our aspiring authors. And I did the journey with them. And it has so many tools and resources that guide you through that journey successfully. But today, we want to just let you know, put a timestamp on who we are, where we're located, and how you can get involved if you're not a member as of yet. We are Global Chamber. We have 600 and something metros, more than 525 now, across 5 continents and 195 countries. Did anybody else know we had over 600? Well, I'm sharing slides, but I'm thinking you're not seeing them, are you? Ah,
No, no, we're not seeing them. Not yet.
oh man, y'all were just following along, just listening.
I was looking for the book that you were talking about and I couldn't see it there. So
Thank you, Mark. You can let me know if you don't see slides. There's always a few. So here's where I was talking about how we show up to engage authors. And we do meet the third Thursday, generally at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, sometimes 8 p.m., allowing our friends far and beyond the pond to be on live too without compromising their sleep. And so, yes, we are vibrant, we're engaged, and we're also keeping each other informed. And this is the book that you were referring to, that you were visualizing, I should say, Mark. It's a transformational writer's journal, helping writers become authors. And as I said, I coach in the space of becoming an author in 90 days. And so I did the journey with my writers during that 90 days, proving that it can be done. All right. Now, this is the slide I was saying. Are you amazed that we're well over 600 metros around the globe, and it continues to grow. And we're not just there by name, we are there by person. And we are here as our mission accelerating cross-border trade, investment in every region of the world. And we do that by engaging top executives like yourselves and leaders like yourselves with warm connections and timely information to grow. And the vision is really to make that process so simple. doing business around the globe as easy as doing it across the street. I just got off a Globinar with mentor Pilana Yana, and every Globinar that I've been on or led out in Global Chamber, it's added so much value, and it's exciting. And you're going, well, why are you talking about that Globinar when we're on this one? Because there's so much resources we have available to tap into. This is one, yeah. I would be remiss if I didn't say this was one of my favorites as well, leading out. So our global chamber headquarters is in Thunderbird School of Management, Phoenix, Arizona. They have a phenomenal event today. I think it's the fifth annual semiconductor event, and the guest panel is off the chain. If you haven't signed up for that, don't do it while you're on this Globinar, but definitely do it when you're done. You want to be a part of that. All right. So, how do we and when do we present? As I said, every third Thursday of the month, usually 11 a.m. or sometimes 8 p.m. We at least do two 8 p.m.s. And I am a believer that we start with the end in mind. What do we want to accomplish? And in this time that we have together, we want to accomplish unveiling to you some of the mistakes that are made in writing. But it's not just me sharing the information with you. Some of you may be authors. And if you are, raise your hand, use the reaction in the Zoom below, or yeah, or manually raise your hand. Yeah, because I can see you. Okay. Marcus. Awesome. Okay. I see more hands coming out. There you go, Manal. Awesome. So I'm coming to you today to share those three mistakes made in the writing process and to avoid the pitfall. Now, the pitfall that I have to avoid today is not to overshare, realizing that we have 45, 50 minutes together. And because I coach on this topic, it comes so easy to me. So you all will keep me on track because we have to finish at 5 minutes before the top of the hour. All right. All right. So I'm going to ask you, what are some of the pitfalls that you think that are made in writing? We've got a few authors on. Place it in the chat. I like to be able to engage that way, and then we move forward. All right. I'm checking here, or you can unmute yourself. Feel free to. What are some mistakes that you learned on your journey, Mark or Manal, when you were writing? And then after you completed it, you said, if I knew that, I would have done this then.
Well, I was starting to put it into the chat, but I'll say it then. I think it's just a significant pitfall in my experience has been not blocking enough undistracted time. So the time that I
Mm,
don't block extends the time for writing. So it's like a swap. You can't get the time back. So it's going to extend it at the back end if I don't set it aside at the front. So I can't personally write in 10-minute snippets. I need
yes.
half a day to really get into the zone or whatever. And I can do an hour here or there, but it does not advance it in any significant way if there's not a block of undistracted time.
Okay, not blocking time because you can't get it back at the end. I made a note of that. So what about you, Manal?
Yeah, what got me moving forward really in a meaningful way was when I actually made the outline. So, I think that looking at a blank piece of paper and just go, that's one thing. But then it's like, wait, I made that point there and okay, back it up. And then forcing yourself to think it through. I always
Absolutely.
think in analogies, but it's like if you want to cook, it's better to have the menu so then you can actually grocery shop so that you can actually have the ingredients so you can actually have the meal that you had in your mind to begin with. So
Oh,
structure.
I like that. Outline structure. Anybody else have anything they'd like to contribute, whether you've published or just started in the writing process that you would like to share that has been a mistake or lesson learned? Okay. If so, unmute yourself. If not, I'm going to move forward with the slides. Okay, to the end of setting aside protected time, we are sponsoring two writing retreats in 2026. All right, we'll talk about that at the end. We'll want to know about that. And I've got a new release I want to share with you all too. All right, you guys are right on it. It's almost as if you had said, this is what I think. she's going to talk about today. Here are the three mistakes, and there's more than three. Let's just put it that way. But we start out the ones that we want to move you through successfully and succinctly today. All right. And the first one is thinking that you're writing for the entire world, that you are writing and publishing your book for everybody. And I inevitably, every cohort, we start for our 90 days to manuscript. January 1st, we started this year, kicking the new year off. And I go, what type of book do you want to write? And who are you writing for? Oh, my book is for everyone. It's for everybody. And I smile when they say that because, I mean, it's really ambitious. It's very lofty goals, right? But how realistic is that? How many do you think J. Call Rowlands, when she was writing her series, was writing for everyone? Or did she have a specific audience in mind? She had a specific audience in mind. And by the way, she has another pen name that she writes crime books under, if you didn't know that. And it's a male's name, Patrick, I believe. Yeah. So when people say, oh, I'm writing my book and it's for everybody, and they say, I don't want to deflate them, but I just ask these questions. So I'm going to ask the questions of you all today, too. When you are writing your book or have written your book, did you give any thought about who would read it other than your family and your mom?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and share that with us, Minna, because this is more of a discussion, panel discussion type with you all as part of the panel.
So wait for it. My topic might sound boring to you, but it's not to me. But anyway, so it's a very specific. It's a the subtitle is Master Retention and Hiring. So it's called the Goldilocks team. So I really had leaders in my mind. So I would not ask my mom to read this book.
Okay, so it's called the Goldilocks T
Team. The
team. Okay,
Goldilocks team. Yeah.
and then mastering
Master
retention,
retention and hiring. So it's really
master
for a
retention
very
and hiring.
specific audience.
Okay, so now we're gonna get the rest of the team involved in who would your book be for? Okay, the Goldilocks team, master retention and hiring, and the team stands for something. Was it an acronym?
No, it's everyone wants to work with just the right people.
Mhm.
So that's what it means. Goldilocks wants to have the right temperature food in the right chair.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. All right. And so, if I could just say this to you in a gentle way, your book has an interest, whether the title may resonate with us or not. So, never diminish that. It's just now finding the right people. So, we are interested in discussing it today. So, the um, Goldilocks team, mastering retention and hiring. Who do you think? Thank you. You put it in the chat. Who do you think this book would be ideal for? Give me a couple of audiences. Will, Mark, Cesar, whomever else can hear and would like to respond. Rosalind,
HR.
HR, human resource, so organizations that have an HR department. So that's pretty broad, right? Because there's most large companies have human resource departments. So it can be in the science, in the academia, in the healthcare, in the construction. So this is in terms of organizations, if we just say HR, that's pretty broad. All right. Whom else?
I'm thinking of the small to mid-sized business owner, probably privately held, who is kind of going into that next stage of not just hiring their brother-in-law or their niece, but has to
Mhm.
get talent recruited from someplace and they want to hold them and not have them just come give them 6 months and bolt.
Absolutely. So small to mid-sized businesses, they're small, they're growing. They may not even be right there at the place of a HR, but they might want tools to develop their team. Mid-sized, definitely. Um, and then I also thought of facilitators. I've served as a facilitator, and what we really have to focus on is building out the team. Okay, building the team, and you want the team to stay in place for the duration of whatever the project is. So, human resource, small to mid-sized business facilitators, and I see there's a few comments here in the chat. Anybody else care to share who this book title might be most beneficial to? Okay. All right. So, Minal, you have to tell us who were your audience, and did all of these resonate in terms of who you would target to be your audience?
It is the leaders in mid-size organization. So
Okay.
whoever said that hit it
Uh,
perfectly.
Yeah, that was Mark right on it. So, leaders in mid-sized organization, why is it important to identify your target audience? I liken it to an arrow and a bullseye. You really want to hit right in the center so you can get the target audience and that they are truly interested in this topic and that they would find value and benefit from it because A, you're speaking their language, you know where they hang out. So the two things you want to look at when you are identifying your target audience is what are their demographics, okay? And when we think about demographics, I'm going to just mention a few, and then I want you to start thinking about psychographics. When you start thinking about demographics, think about age, we think about education, we think about region, we think about political persuasion if it's relevant, we think about spiritual or non-spiritual. We think about all of those components to say, hey, these are the people I need to consider, and age group and income or organization type, even. So those are the demographics that we would consider when trying to identify your target audience. There's also another component, the psychographics. We think about demographics, we really cover that so well. But when we start thinking about psychographic, what comes to mind for you? Lifestyles. Yeah. Where do they shop? How do they shop? How do they spend their social time? Who do they spend their time with? All of these things are factoring into knowing your target audience. And I'm going to share a tool with you when we're done where you can look for them more specifically. Okay. And I'll give it to you now. It's called Ask ASK the Public. I'll put it in the chat, or if you can put it in the chat for me, Manal, since you're already in the typing mode. Ask the public. And when we're off of the line, I want you to try it out. Okay. Not now because it'll get you distracted, but you're going to find out if you put in HR leaders or organization or team building, something along that. It'll tell you where they hang out too. So save that tip for later. But know that one of the three mistakes made in writing is that people think they're writing for everyone and they're publishing for everyone, when the truth is that they are writing for a very specific niche, a very specific audience. And we need to know clearly the demographics of that audience and where they hang out and how they spend their time and their monies. All of that is available. And then that's who you target your book to. And that's when, marketing is another component of that, but we won't get into that today. We're going to save some of that for another time. All right. Any comments or questions about that? And did you get anything new out of this piece thus far? Okay. I see heads nodding. Okay. All right. So the other mistake, one of the other three mistakes that's made in the writing process, you hit the nail on the head. It's almost like you read my mind, not prioritizing time, writing time. Why? Because our calendars are full, our minds are full, and our rest is depleted. And if we do not prioritize writing, then it's not going to prioritize you either. And how can you prioritize your writing? Those of you who have written and published, tell me, what have you done to make writing a priority so that you could complete the book? Or tell me, what length of time did it take you to complete it? I'm also interested in hearing that. Just go ahead and unmute yourselves.
Well, I'll just pop in quick because I put that piece in the chat earlier.
Yeah.
One of the things for me has been participating in writing retreats. When I know that they're being held by people who are serious about writing, I
Mhm.
have signed up, spent the money, gone. The book I have coming out in the spring, I was able to finally get it across the line by setting aside a week. I went to Portugal for a week. I was with five people. where we wrote all morning until about 10, and then we gathered to kind of showcase a little bit of what we were doing, have lunch, go back to writing in the afternoon, come back late afternoon, showcase again a little bit, talk and critique each other, and then go out, walk away, have a dinner together, and get to know each other a bit more, and then rinse and repeat the next day, and then the next day. And, 5 or 6 days of that, you actually make some, you get some territory gained,
Oh,
and
yes.
that has been the single best thing. I'll go way back where I learned it very quickly. I was working on my doctoral dissertation and was
Yes.
stuck. My wife cleared my calendar, unbeknownst to me, sent me away to a cabin for 2 weeks and said, "Here's a gift. Go and don't come home until your dissertation's done. Like you're not
Oh.
welcome here until it's done," kind of a thing. But it was a gift to me, and I needed it. And about 5 days in, I got into a zone and was able to knock it out where it was almost complete. I still had some data, analysis to do, but the basic stuff was done because of that dedicated time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the best gift I think that your wife could have given you.
It was a great gift.
Uninterrupted, dedicated time. And I'm a true component of retreats. We host them annually, usually 3 days. And last year we did
Great.
a 1 day, 1 day. But getting away from your own environment because it has its own benefits. There are natural distractions that are innately built in where you're most familiar with. Okay. So changing that environment to write. And if you are writing in your own space, you're going to create a sacred space for that. And we'll get to that. Thank you for sharing that so much, Mark. Anyone else want to share what their experiences has been like with carving out time to write, or what length of time did it take you to write your book?
I wrote it in about 3 to 6 weeks. I can't remember precisely if it was 3 or 6, but it's going to sound fast, but I literally made myself, I have a
Mhm.
teenager and he would walk out the door and I would
Mhm.
make myself sit in my chair and not get up till a certain chunk was done. And I just did that every single day.
Wow. I tell you, there are really no excuses, are there? Because whatever it is that we want to accomplish, once we set our minds to do it, the first thing, let me just ask this question. When you hear that there's a particular concert or a speaker or a workshop coming to town and you have a strong affinity towards being there, what do you do?
Yeah, you make it happen.
Yeah, you put it on your calendar and you are not available. You're not available for anything else except for that at that time and that date. And that's what it requires for writing. And I'll tell you what I share with as a writer's coach with my writers. I encourage them to block out a particular time of day that they're most creative. Most creative. Everybody has a different time. For me, 5 o'clock in the morning. Um, my brain is moving 5 and 6. Oh, that's my zone. Now, does that mean I'm not going to write any other time of the day? No, all it means is that if I want the most creative, productive time, that I'm going to guard that hour, not have any interruptions, make sure my phone is off, the alarms are off, and no one is disturbing me at that time. You have to make sure that's doable in your life. Let's just say that. And right.
Well,
And I
Dana, can
heard
I
you.
go back
Yeah, go
like
ahead.
for me, the biggest first principle is the following. I think like 2 decades ago, I heard this weird thing. I'm going to totally destroy any credibility by saying this because I think I'm quoting Madonna. She said, I believe, I sing not because I think I'm a great singer, but because I have something to say. And to me,
Oh,
I didn't write this book because I think I'm a great writer, but really, I have so much to say on this topic that it needed to come out for an audience. And I hope that there will be a bigger audience one day. But anyway, it needed to come out. So I think
well,
that
I
that's the
we can
big
help
thing.
make that happen, Manal. We can help make that happen at some of our upcoming Global Chamber Author Series, as well as for you, Mark. So please reach out. I've connected with everyone on LinkedIn. Okay. Be a part of that. Let us help get you before the larger audience. And if you're not a member of Global Chamber, go ahead and join, become a member, because that reach is exponentially large in this community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so actually, so the point I wanted to make, I mean, I appreciate that and really very, very much what you said. But actually, what I wanted to say is, so if anyone here is thinking that they have something to say and it's burning in them, they don't have to worry about being the great writer. Their voice is something that the world needs.
Mhm. Yeah, that's right. Say it, write it, put it down. I put it in the chat too. Awesome. It's, what do they say? Iron sharpens iron. And there's, get your story told. And many people write for various reasons. But if I'm going to stay the course, I will keep hop back on track. Legacy. People write for make impact, to educate, for promotion and marketing. Some people write just for themselves. But say it. Thank you for sharing that. That's so meaningful. All right. So we were talking about not prioritizing time being one of the big mistakes because each of us have 24 hours in a day, right? All of us. It doesn't matter if you are in Switzerland, New Zealand, Idaho, Puerto Rico, Georgia, Texas, wherever you are, we have the exact same 24 hours, or Utah. I see you, Terry. And it's how we choose to utilize it. So, what I encourage my writers, aspiring authors to do is number one, pick the best time of the day that they're most creative. Some are at 11 o'clock at night. And if that's your time, protect it. At least 30 minutes of it is what I say, right? And have no interruptions. You mentioned it, Manal, turn the phone off, close the door, get in a private spot or room that you will not be disturbed, and let them know that this time, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour, is that going to be committed to writing and you will not be available. Call you only in event of a fire. Okay. I say that, but it's so true. You get so much done and guard that time. And whatever it takes that gets you in an inspirational mode, for some people, exercise, meditating, lighting a candle, playing a music, set the tone so that your space is a sacred space for writing because you do have something to say. So, one of the mistakes, the second mistakes that mostly made when writing is not guarding the time. I also encourage to put it on your calendar. Okay. I have a few calendars. I've got the phone. I also like the one you kind of hang up here, and then I have my little day timer. I have to see it. I have to get little reminders. Hey, it's time to write. Of course, my alarm is one if I'm since I'm a early morning riser. Absolutely. So set the time, guard the time, and do whatever it takes that brings you in a place of inspiration to write. Now, will that be the only time you write at that day, at the time that you're most inspired? No, you're going to get all kinds of thoughts. Now, Mark was in Portugal for a few weeks. He didn't have a lot of things competing for his time except for a beautiful country and the people that he was with. But he was focused. He knew why he was writing. So get the why clear, get your audience clear, and set the time. Any further comments before we hop back on to our slides? This is good. This is good stuff. Terry, I want to see a book out of you. Come on. I know it's there. But each of us, as I said, we all have that very same 24 hours. It's how we choose to use it, guard and protect it. And then you will see the results, whether it's in 3 to 6 weeks or a 5-day writers conference with a book coming out in the spring or an ebook that I just released on yesterday. Whatever it is, set the time and do it. Okay. Now, here's the other writing third mistake made in the writing process. With AI, artificial intelligence being what it is, and I've gone through several trainings and summits for artificial intelligence, and I'm getting certified as an AI instructor because I just love the expansiveness of it. But one of the mistakes that's being made is they're ineffectively and unauthentically using AI. How do you use AI in your writing, if at all? I'd like to hear that. How do you use AI, or if you use it at all? How do you use it in your writing?
Proof edit,
Say that
editing.
again.
I I use it as my editor.
As your editor?
It, like a proof. I have really bad grammar, so I just put it in there and have it edit everything.
I love it. Okay, well,
But
I'm going to make
I'm
a
not
note.
necessarily a writer by like you guys. I just write like daily notes to for analytical purposes, but I can't necessarily always read what like as a reflection
Okay,
tool. Anyways,
so you use it for writing daily notes as an analytical. May I ask what kind of notes? Is it for the work environment? What is it for?
well, so I came from the creative fields. I worked in I would came out of photography. I represented TV directors and animators for 10 years.
Animators,
Yeah.
animators, and
Yeah,
TV directors?
for TV commercials. And I always like creative stuff, but I always ended up as business development because nobody wanted to do it. And anyways, I found that like if you in order to solve problems and anything, you have to figure out where they are and they usually repeat. So when I really started getting serious about getting better at things, I started writing everything I would do down and then read it 3 months later to see what was reoccurring.
Hmm.
And I've just made a habit of doing that. So, anyways, that's what I do. And
Ah,
but I have terrible grammar. It's just awful. So I
that,
use
that's what,
ChatGPT
yeah,
to.
don't worry about that. That's when you have AI can be utilized. We're going to
Yeah.
demonstrate that. Thank you, Will, for sharing that. I'm curious too that perhaps that you can take these daily notes that you've been analyzing and put them in a book or a guide. Because in your industry, animation, TV, are you still in that field?
No, I work in shipping and I do a lot of stuff in finance actually. But yeah,
I'm
maybe
sorry.
one day. I just want to get like I just practice on some stuff and I still talk
Okay.
with
So,
producers and stuff about different ideas. I haven't really found anything that I'm really that comfortable with, and a lot of the stuff I like isn't as objective. It's more like the editorials type stuff, and
okay.
so I've been trying
Well,
to practice that.
sure. Remind me what your feel is. You kind of went down on your volume and I didn't hear you.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
sorry, it's my computer. I say that. Ask that again.
What are you working in now?
I work in logistics, and
Logistics.
yeah.
Okay. All right. That's kind of broad too. What's your target audience? But
Well,
we'll come back to that.
international freight forwarding specifically.
Internet logistics. All right.
International.
Oh, international. I think I'm
Yeah,
having a hard time today. I apologize.
that's okay.
International logistic. That's the global chamber. All right. So you utilize artificial intelligence. In particular, is it Chat GPT or are you using another one?
Yeah, I use ChatGPT. I think Gemini is actually a little bit better. I'm just used to ChatGPT.
Okay. So we'll just listen to what you're hearing, guys. Chat GPT, Gemini. We're gonna throw a few out. We're gonna demonstrate one. Okay. Anybody else utilizing artificial intelligence and how?
So in general, I feel like I'm getting more and more like I go around saying, "Oh, ChatGPT, my new best friend." But um, I know you're going to show us a tool, so I didn't know that tool, whatever you're going to show. But I'm actually very proud that even though I only published my book about a year ago, I did not use ChatGPT or any other AI tool. Um, Frankly, it was very important for me that the book have my core authentic voice. And
Absolutely.
I even think, even if Will with bad grammar, or maybe you're being hard on yourself, it's much more entertaining to read an authentic voice than
Yes.
a very well crafted voice.
Yes. Well, that's definitely valid, and that's what we encourage in our coaching too. So let me just share this slide with you on AI, and I'm mindful of the time, but we're going to get to our um, practice. So As a writer's coach, and I'm also a healthcare provider, but as a writer's coach, I certainly want each and every one of my authorpreneurs, including myself, to write in their own authentic voice, period. No one can write like you, no one can tell the story like you. But we do have tools that help us along. Back in the day, they made bread and they had to do it all by hand, roll it out and all that stuff. I've never made bread and pound it maybe and let it sit. Now you can put it in a bread maker, right? There's nothing wrong with it. You still got to get the same ingredients together. Comes out like the same bread, right?
Absolutely.
So to me, your ingredients is your story. Your ingredients is your voice. Your ingredients is your experience. Now, how can you use artificial intelligence and integration? AI doesn't write your book. Now, can it write a book for you? Yes. But what it does, it clears the resistance so that you can write. What it does, it removes friction sometimes, and oftentimes you'll come up with a blank page. The page is staring at you, you're staring at it, or you feel overwhelmed, we're nowhere to start, but you know what you want to write about. Or the structure is confused, and someone mentioned outline. This is where AI can help you, okay? It's not writing your story, it's not even telling your story, it's helping you build a framework for it. Also, AI can increase output velocity. Let's say you had 2,000 words to write or 4,000 words to write in a day for your chapter, 2,500 to 4,000 words. And you wrote during your designated time that you set aside and you prioritize, but you didn't quite reach your goal and you're feeling overwhelmed because you've got much to do. And you would say, what other components can I add to this chapter on this? And I use AI as an idea, like to trigger an idea of something that I might be overlooking. Okay. Do I use it to edit or to refine? Yeah, I write my own stuff. And then you can also use AI to protect your authority. Okay, AI is assisting you, but you are the architect. You are the designer of your story. You craft it. And it just helps refine, or to me, it triggers an idea. And I definitely encourage um, that it not be used to write your story, because now we're looking at plagiarism. Yes, remove friction, not fiction. I love this group. Yes, so here we are. We're going to take a look at AI. And there's so many different types of intelligence. You mentioned Gemini, ChatGPT, KGen, and so forth. And that'll have to be another Globinar that we do down the road. However, we're going to demonstrate today. So what we want to do is keep your authenticity intact. We want to keep your fear level down, and we want to get your role elevated. Okay, you ready? If you're ready, put a one in the chat. Type a number one. I'm excited for this. I have to open up a clean slate. How many of you already use Chat GPT? And if so, what version are we on now? And you can unmute yourselves.
I was using GPT, both just the
Okay.
free stuff
GPT.
and
Mhm.
then the subscription, the higher end subscription. I'm no longer using either of them. I've moved over almost exclusively to Gemini.
Okay. I love to hear that. I love to hear that because I want to share more information in these next 12 minutes that we have together. Well, the version of Chat GPT that most people generally use is 5. There's a 5.2 out now. And again, it's going to constantly be improving and upgrading. And you can access Chat GPT, and the GPT in the chat stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer Development. Okay. So generative pre-trained transformer developed. So this is the Chat GPT, and it is a chat box, and it's made by OpenAI. And there's several. There's the Gemini. There's uh, Pomelo. There's so many others, but I'm just going to stick to this one for the sake of teaching one component today. All right, all of you have a number one. I'm going to share my screen. All right, you let me know if you're able to see my chat 5.2. Yes, thumbs up. All right. Now, here's the deal. When you go in to use chat, I'm not going to say, please write a story for me. Please write a book for me that has to do with the challenges of respiratory challenges of living in the South. But that might be my book title. But what I do know for sure is that you have to be very, very clear about what you are asking of this AI. And everything actually has to have a role. And you might not be doing that at this moment, but it has to have a role. And if you can type in the chat for me, role, it has to have a role. And then you have to have content. So the R, the C, and the I. I is for instruction. This is just a basic. We can spend an hour on chat or more, even the basic. So you have to have a role, content, instructions. And I'm going to try to use an example of something I have nearby as a book, I should say. All right. All right. This book here, The Eighth Habit, Stephen Covey. I grabbed that one. And if you haven't read this one and you've read this one, The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, get the eighth too. But I'm going to use this as an example. All right. So what's the first letter and what is that title? R for role, right?
Oh,
Okay, okay. Act as an editor. What's the role here? Editor. All right. Reviewing the book, The Eighth Habit by Stephen R. Covey. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, maybe some of you would, Cliff Notes. When you had to read you buy the Cliff Notes and read the Cliff Notes, and it gives you a nice little summation. It's not the fullness of the book, but it's enough that you can get in class and have a discussion. Chat's taking all that away. You can do all that. So we're saying the role is editor. We want this to act as the editor. And what's the content and what's the instruction? I want them to review the book, The Eighth Habit by Stephen R. Covey, and uh, provide me the details of the eighth habit in comparison to the highly effective seven habits of highly effective people. Now, the key here is that you have to have a prompt. You have got to give it something so it can give you something out. And then to be most effective in doing so, you want to have the R, the C, and the I, the role you want it to play, the content that you need, and give it instructions. Very, very clear on the instructions. Are we good? Are we together so far? Yeah? Okay. And then you just hit enter. You can do so much more than that, but let's just start there. So act as an editor, reviewing the book, The Eighth Habit by, hopefully they got the name right because I spelt Stephen wrong, but they knew. See, they brought up his books. Look at that. Below is an editorial review and comparison of the eighth habit in relation to the seventh habit of highly effective people, written with a lens towards clarity, evolution of thought, and application. Now, you may have already read these, and they need you to give a feedback or speak on it in a meeting, or what's the takeaway. And you can take that and compare to what you get in AI. So if the seven habits is about personal effectiveness, then the eight habits is about personal and organizational significance. And I hope that somewhere in that book, the Goldilocks team, that we've got some of these habits in that book. Do you? If not, it could be a reference if if you're going to do another version or a more recent book even. And it's taking you from the industrial age to a knowledge voice age. As an editor, I would describe the eighth habit not as a sequel, but as a capstone. It assumes mastery of the seven habits and then asks deeper questions. Okay, so you can see how it's working here. And I know you, and I love this because it gives you like a side-by-side comparison is what I was asking it for. How was it able to do that? Because the content and the instructions were very clear. You've got to tell it what you need. Now, do you want to give me something that I can plug in from a role, content, instructions, and we can see the results? You're thinking, I know, because you're going, oh, wow. Now, while you're thinking, let me share this bit about ChatGPT. ChatGPT, what it does is that you train it and it learns your if you're going to be asking and putting in questions or sharing information. Like for Transformational Writers Academy, I put our vision in there, I put our mission statement in there. And if I say, hey, help me create something, including Transformational Writers Academy's vision and statement for this audience, it can do it. Now, it didn't write my vision statement. It didn't even create my mission statement, but I plugged it in there so when I need things done, it can create and help to expound on it. Um, Let me give you an example, okay? Did you either of you have an example? If not, I'll use that. Anything you want us to try out? Okay.
So
So,
actually, Dana,
yes,
uh,
go ahead.
I'm curious. You know where at the very top of the screen there is a little button on the left before the word Chat GPT. Uh, if you click on that, basically there's a tool called Alchemize. If you scroll
On
down,
the, uh-huh.
basically with ChatGPT, you have Canva as well.
Show
You know
me,
what?
am I missing it? Because I clicked on it, I don't see it.
Well, if you scroll, I have to look on my own, but basically after ChatGPT, there's this Alchemize AI, there's Canva, and there's Export Chat
Yes,
GPTs. And I just want to say that if somebody wants to, if they're doing marketing or anything else,
yes.
this Alchemize is massively powerful for understanding, like what you're saying, that the tool didn't help you write your mission and vision, but it can
Uh-huh.
do a lot as far as what are similar organizations doing, or what can be your new way of your particular market entry that differentiates you and things like that. It's I don't know
Can
if
you
this shows up. Yeah,
put it
yeah,
in the chat?
I did a screenshot. So the
Okay, let's
Alchemize,
see.
sorry, I don't want to, I've already done
Oh,
a
no
lot of
worries.
talking today, but if
No, no,
anybody
no,
wants
no.
to try out this Alchemize, it's very powerful, especially if you want to build, if you have a business and you want to build the whole
I
core.
think I'm gonna have to interject. I see it in the chat. I tried to open it, but I can't. But I'm gonna allow you guys to open it while I demonstrate this last thing. All right, thank you. And you can. And since you brought up Canva, let's go ahead and do that. All right. So if you don't have a Canva account, and again, I wanted to keep this so simple today that you just tried something and not get overwhelmed. So you have to have the R, the C, and the I. Those are the components. Be very clear on what you are asking. Give the specifics. Now, if I take what they have put in the table, I could say, please take this. See how they did the table, side by side comparison, the side by side, oh, side by side comparison, and put in a colorful chart in Canva. All right. Now you got to also have it connected to your Canva. So that wasn't on my agenda to share you today because I really like to keep it, where you can just try and apply first. But I can say take that what you've already created, put it into a slide, put it into a flyer, put it into a chart and a layout. And it's going to say, okay, it may ask me more questions for clarity if I wasn't clear enough. So they says below is your color forward chart layout. You can drop directly into Canva and style in minutes. And I'll give you the exact chart content, suggested color palette, and so forth. So they've already provided that, right? So I'm going to go scroll down and it may ask me for color. So you see here, suggesting this. deep navy, teal blue, and so forth. So it's saying which one do you want? For the sake of time, I'm going to choose number option A. Uh-oh, it's got more suggesting. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Choose. Can you see it?
Yes.
Or did I move too fast? I'm going a little fast because we're running out of time. All right. Wait a minute. Okay. It's working on it, and once it's done, it'll download and it'll put it in my chat. And since in my Canva, since my Canva is connected to my Chat GPT, it's easy for me to go to my Canva and then manipulate it, put my logo on it, and so forth, anything, or make some changes. All right. So the bottom line is the three biggest mistakes that people make in writing is A, they're not clear on who their target audience is. They make it so broad that they never reach it. And what we're aiming for is a bullseye that we know the demographics of our target audience. We know the psychographics are following that so that we make sure that we're looking at mid-sized company, HR organization, facilitators that build teams to get that book to them. Right, number one. And number two is that prioritizing writing is not their priority. That's a big mistake. Make it your priority. Put it on your calendar. Put an alarm and guard that time, protect that time. Whatever is necessary to be creative in that space, do it so that you can get the best product. And that will not be the only time that you write or be inspired for the day, but guard that time. And whether you have to take a retreat to Portugal or to Puerto Rico, because we do ours in Puerto Rico, wherever those are, go and do what is necessary so that you can have that time if it's a dedicated time. If not, if it's daily, find it in your home, find it in your community. And the third thing, use AI effectively, not to replace your voice, but to remove the friction, to give you some outlines, some suggestions. So you can utilize that. And then, of course, it can go into marketing, guys. That's a whole nother session. But you might, let's see if we have something we can see yet. Turn it into a multiple carousel Canva. So it's wanting a little bit more. So we have 1 minute. All right. Any comments or questions? I won't go on any further, but this is what you can do. We'll look for the alchemize from what you share with us. Please make sure you copy the comments so that you can look at this later on. It won't be available in YouTube replay, just the slides. All right. And then I'll share this last thing with you. And then I want to ask you, Mark, something. Give me just a moment. Go back and share this. Any comments while I'm sharing these last two slides with you or questions? You guys have been such a great interactive group today, and sharing your journey is helpful for others as well. It's helpful for me as well. So I want to thank each of you for your input, for your questions, for sharing your experiences. And I want to share, this is my latest release that came out this week. Yeah. Well, I keep going back to chat. And if you all are interested in becoming a guest speaker on the author series in a panel session or individually, please reach out and let me know. For the coming months, we have 10 more months. Yeah. So here's our latest book release. All right. I'm not sure if it's sharing it. Let's double check. Here we go. It is called The 7-Step Guide to Writing for Business Leaders. And it just came out earlier this week. It's an ebook. It's a 7-step guide to how business leaders turn their ideas into authority. So, Will, I beg to differ. You may say I'm not a writer, but you are. And so take the tips that you're gaining in this and these Globinars that we're doing, and from the colleagues that are here on board, and from the 7-step guide, if you would, and see the value in our coaching program. Let us know how we can support anyone that is writing, wants to write, or wants to do a collaboration, or have a book that you want to share in a panel discussion. So we want to thank each of you today. It has been extraordinary. And if you have not signed up for the annual semiconductor summit that's taking place today in Arizona. It doesn't look like anybody on that is in Arizona, but if I could have been there today, I would have physically been there. But I have a meeting tonight I have to physically be at in Atlanta. Otherwise, I would have flown there. That's how powerful it's going to be. So you guys have been great. Let's follow one another. Let's support each other. And if there's anything I can do to support you, let us know. And if you're saying, well, I want to write a book, but I have a chapter and not necessarily a book, we have a big book business anthology we're putting out this year. Reach out and let us know if you want to be in that. You might say, this is my specialty, particularly you, Will, that you've been able to speak to animators, TV directors in that space. That would be your chapter if you had an interest. But we are here to support and engage and to move forward your story. Thank you, each of you. And Cesar, any final comments, Cesar? I know he might be available. Not sure. He commented a few times in our chat.
I'm here. I'm here, Dana. Good to see you. Thanks for all the information, and always a
Thank you.
pleasure to learn from you and supporting you with your different initiatives. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Cesar. I'm so excited because I know y'all's book is coming out this year, and I'm a part of that process because I'm going to make sure there's a finish line. And so one of the other things, if I had to add, is set a time frame that you want your book to be done. Because if you don't, it just rolls into 1 week and another month and then a year. Say this is my the phrase is drop dead date, but I don't want you to drop dead. But you know what I mean? This is my end date. It's going to be done by then. All right, guys, let's go ahead and keep on making impact and telling your stories. We'll see you for the next one, but if not, get on the semiconductor tonight. It's awesome. Take care.
It's gonna be a good one. Thanks.
Yes. Thank you. Bye bye. Thanks, Myla.